coming up this season on The Real Housewives of ISIS.
This is BBC Radio 4. It's 5:30 on Sunday, the 22nd of February.
3 London schoolgirls, aged 15 and 16, and described as straight-A students, are thought to be heading to Syria to join Islamic State.
Is it unacceptable to use humour to deal with subjects like terrorism? That's the question that many people were asking after the BBC recently aired a skit entitled The Real Housewives of ISIS as part of its sketch comedy show, Revolting.
15-year-old Shamima Begum, 16-year-old Khadija Sultana, and a third girl who's not been named have travelled to Turkey and may already be in Syria.
ISIS is also picking up followers from all over the world, a surprising number of female. And some of those joining the fight are as young as 14.
The skit drew a mix of harsh criticism and high praise, and its controversial nature has started an online conversation about whether it's okay to satirize how young women are manipulated online by the Islamic State or ISIS. Regardless of whether you think this skit deserves a laugh or outrage, its content is actually surprisingly accurate, which makes the underlying satire all the more biting and effective.
Abdul seduced me online. He had me at free healthcare.
They're marketing smiling children, selling a false version of life under ISIS rule, even using a fighter with model good looks to promote their cause. Some videos target women with a direct appeal.
We have houses, we have security.
ISIS prides itself on their claim to be creating a caliphate, an Islamic superstate. Part of the ISIS recruiting message is that they are doing what other jihadi organizations like Al-Qaeda only dreamt of. But this means that ISIS has to offer services consistent with their grandiose claims. For example, free healthcare and bilingual schools for children of foreign fighters are only 2 false promises that are meant to lure in potential recruits who are groomed online.
So this is my 6th marriage. I've been widowed 5 times. 6 times.
Most women who travel to the Islamic State are immediately married off to jihadi fighters. Usually within months of the marriage, they are widowed because their spouse has been killed. This was the case with several high-profile cases of Western women who joined ISIS, including schoolgirls from East London and former UK punk guitarist Sally Jones.
Belong to Zara, celebrating their husbands' deaths as ISIS martyrs.
I'm so glad I've moved over here. It's everything those guys on the chat rooms told me it would be, and it's full of so many wonderful surprises. Didn't have to do this at Birmingham. Bullshit!
ISIS recruiters make associations with women on social media and even dating sites. They often target confused young people who do not feel that they fit into their societies. Once an association is made, these conversations are moved into private chat rooms that allow encrypted messaging. In this clip, a girl in rural Washington explains how she was groomed online by ISIS members who taught her hardline ISIS beliefs and showered her with gifts of chocolate.
On the internet, I have more community with them than I have with people in my own community. I was looking for people who agreed with what they were doing so I could understand why they were doing it. And it was actually really easy to find them.
Are you ready, girls? Yeah? Hang on, I'm recording it for Instagram. Ta-da! What do you think? Ahmed surprised me with it yesterday.
Hashtag OMG, hashtag Jihadi Jane, hashtag Death to the West ISIS emojis.
ISIS uses a sophisticated social media strategy to spread their message. Back in 2014, they used the hashtag #AllEyesOnISIS to build grassroots support for their siege of Mosul. When Austrian Samra Kasinovic left home to join the Islamic State, they paraded her on their social media. She was dubbed ISIS poster girl for appearing on their propaganda and carrying an AK-47 surrounded by armed men. What ISIS did not announce was that later, when she tried to escape the Islamic State, she was captured and treated as a sex slave before being beaten to death with a hammer.
When 17-year-old Samra Kasinovic tried to leave the terrorist-run city of Raqqa, she was beaten to death. A woman who once lived with the teen but successfully escaped told a tabloid. The Austrian teen ran away to Syria last year to join the terror group and marry an ISIS fighter, but Kasenovic had a change of heart, so they killed her.
Samra's story should remind everyone of the relevance of this BBC skit. Even if you see it as distasteful, there's no denying the truths behind its one-liners. With millions of views, it is successful at reaching an audience that even counter-terrorism initiatives have failed to reach. If, as the show's creators hope, the skit appeals to those who are vulnerable to online grooming by ISIS recruiters, the UK and the rest of the world will see fewer Western-born jihadists.
Why can't he be happy with me?
Ali bought me a new chain, which is 8 foot long. So I can almost get outside, which is great.